Students, friends, I am very sorry to notice that the COVID pandemic once again entered the entire world, and India is also exception. And Karnataka is hard hit. It stands first in the 10 states of India. Under this unfavorable situation due to bad health environment, we are in a not a position to invite you to the colleges and have or conduct physical classes. Under these circumstances, somehow we would like to reach you online. So, students, friends, at the outset, I request you to take care of your health and your family members' health, and also keep the health of the surrounding. With these few words of remarks, I would like to draw your attention towards the sixth semester BCom subject. So one of the compulsory subjects is income tax, which I am going to deal. And also I dealt with this subject during the fifth semester. This subject is a compulsory subject, and this is a continuation of the subject for the sixth semester. During fifth semester, we call it as a income tax paper first. During the sixth semester, this paper is continued, named after income tax paper second. So all of us are aware that after having studied the introduction and basic concept of income tax, all of us are aware that there are five heads of income. Conveniently, Central Board of Direct Taxes, there were six heads of income, and few years back they have reduced the six heads into five heads only. Now, I would like to draw your attention towards the heads of income. Heads of income, first number one head of income is income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, capital gains, and income from other sources. We studied in detail income from salary, income from house property, income from business and profession during the fifth semester. From sixth semester onwards, we are required to study capital gains and income from other sources. Instead of taking much of your time and wasting the time, I would like to begin with the topic capital head, capital gains. The fourth head of income is the capital gain. Now let us understand how this is charged. This capital gain, before going to understand the capital gain, the basic charge of income tax on the capital gain is covered under the Income Tax Act 1961 under section 45. What is capital gain? The question arises. Any profit or gain arising from transfer of capital assets can be charged to income tax under the head capital gains. Here, one has to underline here profit or gain from what? Transfer of capital assets. So here we are required to underline the topic income arising from transfer of a capital asset. Now before going to understand the what is capital gain, we are forced to understand what is capital asset. So capital asset means what? The question comes here. The property of any kind. Capital asset means property of any kind held by an assessee, whether or not connected with his business or not, or any securities held by a foreign institutional investor which has invested in securities in accordance with the CBDT 1992. Here, capital assets means assets, properties held by an assessee includes land and building, plant and machinery, vehicles, shares, securities, gold, silver, jewelry, goodwill, patent rights, or any right in these assets. So, property includes and it deemed to be always included any rights therein or in relation to Indian company, including rights of management or control or any other rights whatsoever. So here, first of all, before going to see the concrete meaning of the capital assets, there are assets, though appears to be assets, they are not treated under the head capital assets. What are those assets? First of all, we have to understand. There are assets which are not included in the capital assets. What are those? First of all, we have to understand. Number one, any stock in trade. Number two, personal effect. Personal effects means mobile property, including vehicle apparel, motor cars, electrical appliances, refrigerator, furnitures, etc. etc. And third one, rural agricultural land. Land used for agricultural purposes and which is not situated within municipal limits and within 8 kilometers of any city limits. So that rural agricultural land is also not regarded as capital asset. Number fourth, 6% gold bonds 1977 or 7% bonds 1980, National Defense Gold Bonds 1980 issued by the central government. Number fifth is Special Bearer Bonds 1991. Number sixth, Gold Deposit Bonds issued by under Gold Deposit Scheme 1999 or Deposit Certificates issued under Gold Monetization Scheme 2015. Now let us see some of the examples. Any silver utensils used for personal use or personal effects, not capital assets. Rural agriculture land, not capital asset. Urban agriculture land, capital asset. Personal car, not capital asset. Car used in business, capital assets. Well friends, these are the some of the confusions that we have to make it clear before going to see the what are the types of capital assets. Now let us see what are the types of capital assets. Generally we classify capital assets into two types: short-term capital assets and long-term capital assets. Now let us see what is short-term capital asset. Under section 2 subsection 42A defines short-term capital asset mean capital assets held by an assessee not more than 36 months. Not more than 36 months. However, there are assets are not treated as capital assets if period of holding does not exceed 12 months. What are those? Equity shares or preference shares which are listed in a recognized stock exchange are and a unit of Unit Trust of India, a unit of an equity oriented fund, a zero coupon bond. In case of unlisted shares of a company, it is treated as short-term capital asset if it is held more than 24 months. In case of immovable property, being land, building, a period of holding is less than 24 months. It is treated as short-term capital assets. Okay, let me repeat once again regarding The short-term capital assets means what? Short-term capital assets means assets held by an assessee not more than 36 months in case of any other assets. And in case of other assets means shares and other assets held by an assessee not more than 12 months. Now let us see long-term capital assets. Long-term capital asset means assets held by an assessee more than 36 months. They are including financial assets that is shares, units of UTI, mutual funds, debentures of company which are listed in recognized stock exchange, or government securities held for more than 12 months are long-term capital assets. Okay, here the question comes here. There are some assets treated as long-term capital assets if period of holding is more than 12 months. Any security is issued by Government of India or recognized under the CBDT. Next one is Unit Trust of India, unit of any equity oriented fund, zero coupon bond. And in case of unlisted shares, a period of holding is more than 24 months, it is treated as a long-term capital assets. Okay friends, with these few words, we'll have to close today's discussion regarding the the types of assets. Long-term capital assets and short-term capital. Let me repeat once again, and we have to keep in mind that the period is very important. And asset, a long-term capital assets, short-term capital assets. The assets held by an assessee more than 36 months is regarded as long-term capital assets. Assets held by an assessee less than 36 months is regarded as short-term capital assets. Based on this, we are required to understand in the next period regarding what is the short-term capital gain, what is long-term capital gain, how gain arises, that we have to deal in. With these few words, I would like to reach you tomorrow in the next online class. Thank you.